Hi, in this video we are going to talk about the built-in functions of SQL, such as the count, the sum, the average, the min, and the max. Of course, it is going to count something, it is going to sum up some values, it is going to return the average of some values, it is going to return the minimum of a given set of values and the maximum. So for example, I have the query select star from customers where city like Burl. So what is this statement? I would like to get everything from our database table customers, so the customers table, where the city starts with Berl. If I run this, we have Germany, Switzerland, and Italy, so Bern, Bergamo, and Berlin. And for example, I would like to count that how many. I see that there is 3 rows, so I have 3 results, but I would like to automate it and I would like to count it. So I would like to count the number of rows, 1, 2, 3, and so on. So I would like to count that how many cities starts with BER in the table customers. And of course, I see that there were 3 returns, 3 results, so it is going to be 3. And I can name it. So for example, it's going to be the name count star, which is not so nice, so I can rename it with the help of as, for example, number of results, and then the number of results. I think it's a bit better, but it's not so important. Okay, so that's all about the count. How to count something, we just have to use the count method. For example, I would like to sum up these customer ID. What I would have to do is just to select the sum of not star, because the star represents, it stands for all of the table columns, customer ID, contact name, and for example, a name, a string, we cannot sum up strings. So we have to specify that I would like to sum up the customer IDs 1 plus 14 plus 49. It is going to yield 64. So this statement is something like, show me the sum of the customer IDs from the customers table where the city starts with BER, and it is going to be 64. Get me, for example, the minimum or the average, 64, and as we see earlier, 64 is the sum of 1 plus 14 plus 49, and we want to get the average of these customer IDs. So we just have to use the AVG function, of course, on the customer ID. And it is something like the sum of these numbers are 64, and we have to divide it by 3 because we have 3 rows. It is approximately 21, yeah, to be exact. So that's how the AVG function works. Then we have the minimum. For example, we have this 1, 14, and 49. We want to get the minimum. We just have to, or for example, the postal code. Let's do it, because we are not able, we can manipulate all of the columns of our table, not just the first one, the customer ID, for example. So the postal code, the minimum of the postal codes is this one, the second one. So min from postal code from table customers where the city starts with Bear. It is the minimum postal code. Sorry, it is the minimum. So get me the minimum. Oh, maybe it is a string. Yeah, it is a string. It is stored as a string because that's why that's the minimum, because it is in 1. The 1 is the first character in this string, and of course it is smaller than 2 or 3. So it's not a good example because the postal code is stored as a string, a text, not an integer, and that's why this minimum function is not fine. I mean, it's working fine, but it not gives the numerical ordering. It is making orders according to characters, so alphabetical ordering. But if you want to get the minimum of the customer ID, for example, it should be the 1. It's working fine. If you want to get the maximum, it should be 49. So all of these functions are working quite properly, and there's lots of situations when we definitely need it. But for example, this means just to show it how to work on strings. We have Germany, Switzerland, and Italy. We can sort according to the country in alphabetical order, and if I want to get, for example, the maximum out of the country, it is going to give us Switzerland. And why? Because in the alphabetical order, Switzerland is the maximum, the last item. So that's why it is going to sort in alphabetical order, and that's why the maximum can be applied to integers as well and strings as well. So that's all about the built-in functions in SQL.